We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Optimism on Wall Street, border crossings, military attacks, and more. It's 2024. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. A 7.5 magnitude earthquake shook part of central Japan on Monday, killing at least 48 people, toppling buildings, and knocking out power to tens of thousands of utility customers. Around 100,000 people were ordered to evacuate coastal areas as authorities issued tsunami alerts as far away as eastern Russia. Japan dispatched army personnel to help in rescue efforts. A Japan Coast Guard plane that was to deliver supplies to the region collided with Japan Airlines jet at a Tokyo airport, causing the airliner to burst into flames on the runway. All passengers were evacuated, but 5 of the 6 people on the Coast Guard plane are confirmed dead. Israel pulled tanks out of parts of Gaza City on Monday as the government announced a tactical change in its war against Hamas. Israel said it was pulling out thousands of the troops it had in Gaza, much of which had been reduced to rubble, but signaled that it expected its war against Hamas to continue through 2024. An Israeli official told Reuters that reducing troop strength would allow some reservists to return home, while remaining forces continued mopping up in parts of the Palestinian enclave. Russia and Ukraine accused each other of New Year's Day attacks against civilians. A Russian-installed official in Donetsk said Ukrainian shelling killed 4 people in the eastern Ukraine city. The Russian Foreign Ministry called the shelling a terrorist act targeting civilian infrastructure, according to Reuters. Russia hammered Kiev with a large-scale missile attack that came hours after Russian President Vladimir Putin vowed to retaliate for a Saturday bombardment that killed 24 people in the Russian city of Belgorod, just north of the Ukraine border. Local officials in several Ukrainian regions said Russian air attacks had damaged civilian areas and killed at least 1 person. U.S. Navy helicopters sank 3 boats in the Red Sea that were believed to be carrying Houthi militants from Yemen over the weekend, military officials said. The helicopters exchanged fire with the boats after responding to a distress call from a Maersk container ship, the Singapore-flagged Hangzhou, that reported being attacked by 4 small boats. The boats fired crew-served and small arms weapons at the Maersk Hangzhou, getting to within 20 meters of the vessel and attempted to board the vessel, U.S. Central Command said. The Houthis, responsible for numerous Red Sea attacks since the start of the Israel-Hamas war, said they lost 10 fighters and warned that the U.S.'s dangerous behavior would have negative repercussions. An undergraduate member of Harvard's Honor Council believes University President Claudine Gay is getting off easy from her recent plagiarism allegations. The student, who remained anonymous, wrote an op-ed published in the Harvard Crimson student newspaper on Sunday. Gay is facing widespread accusations of anti-Semitism and plagiarism, but the university's board has declared it still supports her. I have served as a voting member of the Harvard College Honor Council, the body tasked with upholding the college's community standards of academic integrity, the student began. In my time on the council, I heard dozens of cases when students, my classmates, peers, and friends appear before the council. They are distraught. For most, it is the worst day of their college careers. For some, it is the worst day of their lives. They often cry. Wall Street is starting 2024 trading, riding a wave of optimism after stocks rose in 2023, boosted by the rise of artificial intelligence and a stronger than expected economy, according to the Wall Street Journal. The Dow Jones Industrial Average pushed into record territory, and the S&P 500 came within 0.6% of a record high as inflation started to cool, fueling hopes that the Federal Reserve would soon lower interest rates after an aggressive campaign to increase borrowing costs to slow the economy and bring down inflation. Stock futures edged lower early Tuesday, however, ahead of the first trading day of the new year. Rates of loneliness, anxiety, and depression have shot up across America, and social media is absolutely one of the causes, Governor Spencer Cox of Utah says. I think it's obvious to anyone who spends any time on social media or has kids. I have 4 kids. I've seen what's happened to them as they spend time on social media and their friends, that this is absolutely causing these terrible increases, these hockey stick-like increases that we are seeing in anxiety, depression, and self-harm amongst our youth. Cox, the chair of the National Governors Association, said. Legislation that Utah enacted earlier this year that would require social media users to verify their age in order to access their accounts, putting restrictions on when and how users under 18 could access social media sites, is currently facing legal challenges from a trade group that represents Meta, TikTok, and X. First Amendment advocates have also argued the law, which is to go into effect in 2024, infringes on free speech rights. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un told his military leaders during a meeting on Sunday to mobilize the most powerful means to destroy South Korea and the U.S. if either country chooses to go to war, according to state media reports. Kim warned the leaders of the dangers of an armed confrontation that is quickly becoming a reality on the Korean peninsula. He blamed maneuvers by the U.S. and other enemies which would require North Korea to sharpen the sword to protect itself. If they chose military confrontation and set the fire, we must mobilize all the most powerful means to deal a crushing blow and completely destroy them. Kim was quoted as saying by the Korean Central News Agency. The U.S. southern border saw its highest rate of illegal migrant encounters last month, blowing away previous statistics. Sources with Customs and Border Patrol told Fox News Digital that migrant encounters hit a staggering 300,000 incidents in the last month of 2023, reaching a level thought unimaginable just years ago. Between December 1st and December 31st, more than 302,000 migrants were documented attempting to cross the U.S. southern border. It is the highest total for a single month ever recorded. It is also the first time migrant encounters have exceeded 300,000. This does not include the number of known gotaways. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.